What's good, good people? Vets, let's talk, man. I got a special guest in front of the formation today. Specialist Brandon Jackson, man. Hey, before we get started, I'd like you guys to press the like, share, and subscribe, man. Hey, it don't take much. HBO special, help a brother out. What it do, my brother? How you doing?
I'm blessed, brother. How you doing? How you doing?
Man, outstanding, man. I couldn't be no better, bro. I'm in a space and place in which I can sit back, clear my mind, do the things I need to do as far as gathering myself, not others, because it ain't about nobody else at the end of the day. Everybody takes in what I have to put out, and it's good for the rest of the world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How the family doing?
The family's doing well. I'm actually in Louisiana right now. My son has a competition. He's at the national competition right now in Louisiana.
Word.
Yeah, karate.
Man, maybe he can teach me a couple of lessons, man. I need to learn something, man. I'm tired of my wife beating me up, bro. Hey, but hey, that's good though, man. Hey, let's jump into some of these questions real quick, man. Do you remember where you were during 9/11?
Yes, I was at the house and I was asleep. I was home from school because I had pink eye, right? And my stepdad came in. He said, "Man, they just knocked down the buildings." And I was like, "All right." And I just laid back down. And when I got up, man, I thought I was watching a movie or something. Man, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, when they add this in Die Hard.
Oh, what?
For real, man.
I
And
got you.
it just kept playing it over and over and over. And man, it was like it wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? It was like a
Right,
movie or something. Man,
man.
it was crazy.
So with that being said, with you knowing that you still joined the military,
Right.
with you knowing that. So it didn't like get in your head that at one point in my career, I might have to go overseas.
Yeah, it didn't bother me um, that I might have to go overseas. I had a friend that we were both joining at the same time. We went to high school together,
Right.
but he ended up choosing a different MOS. And I really wasn't thinking too much about the combat. I was thinking more about this is something I wanted to do before 9/11 happened. So
Okay.
whether it happened or not, I was going to do it.
So you was
I actually wanted to go to the Marines at first.
ooh.
Yeah.
So you was already locked in before they locked you in, huh?
Right.
So man, hey man, like first off, thank you for your service, bro. It takes a certain type of individual to sit back and raise their hand during a time of war. I know people that backed out because of what was going on. But hey, this next question, man, what do you remember about your days of service?
Oh man. You know what? I remember the good people.
Right.
There was a lot of good people, male and females. It was more like a family. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their little cliques or whatever. But I just remember being around good people. And I also remember being around leadership that shouldn't have been leaders at all. You know what I'm saying? Like they fast track with rank, but they was not the brightest. And
Right.
lazy, putting everything on the soldiers, not being good leaders. Um, it was a lot of that. But then again, it was a lot of good people who came, like yourself, that came in humble, did what you needed to do, and 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 progress through the ranks. And um, I definitely remember combat.
Right.
I remember a lot of stuff in combat. Um, I'm glad I survived, but everybody deal with combat differently. It was not about the action for me. That part didn't bother me. What bothered me more was what still bothers me to this day is the ones that we lost.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that like hit my core.
Right.
Uh, that's my casualty of war right there. It's not about what we seen or done. It's about those who we can bring home. because I know everybody that's watching and those whom have already served, um, they all have their own opinion about how things went. But for me, it wasn't about fighting so much for our country because it became personal.
Right.
Became about the person to the left and right of you.
Yes.
Once you lose someone that you're cool with, or you see them that morning, they gone that afternoon, and the mission doesn't stop. You still have to go back out on the road. Then it becomes different. It becomes real personal, and so you don't think about politics. You don't think about what people up higher ranking think. Only thing you care about is that person to the left and right,
Right.
and that's it. I think a lot of people who sees it from the TV, especially with Ukraine going on, they don't understand that a lot of people are standing there because it's about the people to the left and right.
Right. A lot of people don't really understand that cohesion that we kind of gather. It's like we get on the plane one way, but as soon as we land on that dirt, it's kind of this bond that has to take place, especially with that first deployment at Warhorse. You know,
Man,
you get to thinking like, can I depend on this individual left and right for me? We're gonna roll out every day, and we get to learn certain things about that individual as far as like the families, what their son's name is, what they go through with their wife. So we become so tight to the point to where, hey, are you okay? We're not going to do it. It's like I said on my last video, like I still keep in contact with the Ghost Rider platoon, still to this day, even my LT. And we keep each other tight. We all go through pretty much the same thing because of what we've been through that first deployment. But he's dead on spot with the camaraderie that we come across with the individuals that we serve with. Family. Hey, support the troops. Hey, what were some of the fears transitioning out of the military event, if any?
because of my situation, the way I got out the military, one of my biggest fears was uh, my son living. Actually, a lot of people don't know the whole situation, but um, to be honest, it came down to, I think, bad leadership. Um, I just need to take a trip back to make sure my wife was good
Right.
and I was being good. But previous to that, there was a lot of Red Cross messages because my wife was a high risk um, pregnancy. My wife was epileptic. And so the doctor was like, you might have to make the decision between your wife and your child. And
Mm.
and so I can't do that there. You know what I'm saying? I just
Right.
need to be home during that time. But they sent me home earlier, and I wouldn't have been able to be in there like 2 months later when I needed to be there to make a decision.
Right.
Um, so I was worried about what I'm gonna do. I thought about FBI, Secret Service. Like I wanted something still with the action. I like the action. I'm not gonna lie. I am. I was high headed. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest.
Right. Right.
Was
Right.
high headed and trigger happy. But we
Old
just being
Jack.
honest.
Old Action Jackson.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just being honest. But at the same time, trying to find certain things in the civilian world that equals to the drive that the military puts behind you, or you find yourself. A lot of people don't know you really truly find yourself when you offer the military at a young age because you don't have the same homies from the block or whatever, and you kind of really find yourself. So when you're getting ready to go back to that, I don't know about many people, but when I would come home, it would be the same people doing the same thing. And you'd be like, man, what you doing with your life? Like, I left, you was right here in this spot, I come back, you still right here in this spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave. I come back. You still right here in the spot. I know where to go and find you. And I didn't want to be in that predicament. I wanted to make sure. So the way I got out, I was worried that all that was going to be at risk, like in my kids' future and their benefits and everything like that. So yes, I had fear for my kids
Mm,
and whether or not I was going to have to make that decision.
man, that's big, bro. I appreciate you for your honesty, and I appreciate you for putting that out there because once you deploy like that and you go back, people think you kind of dodging a certain type of bullet, but a lot of times that's not the case because you already seen the funk. The first deployment, that second
Yeah,
deployment,
it was
wasn't.
nothing.
Yeah, it was night and day.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
though it was like a couple of soldiers that was lost, but it was like night and day. So it was like a walk in the park. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you for being transparent, my brother.
Oh yeah, I want to make sure. I mean, I'm an open book. I just didn't tell. A lot of people didn't know what was going on.
Right,
At, at the leadership at the time would have just let it go down because I really didn't need to come back in June, and I would have been straight.
right.
Um, Everything. So that took me through a psychotic breakdown, to be honest.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah. So I mean, we're just gonna keep it a book. So that put me through a psychotic breakdown. They ended up putting me up in the ward, which that's why I ended up getting out. A lot of people don't know that, and I'm not ashamed of it because only thing I could see was blood in my eyes because this was my bloodline. I'm
Right,
willing to fight the war. I'm willing to do whatever you ask me to do. You know what I'm saying? Charge it here, I charge it. You know what I'm saying? Kick in this door, I kick in this door. Return fire, I return fire. But when it
right,
comes down to my family, you gotta allow me to make sure that's straight so I can be here for my brothers and sisters. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
right.
And the exact words were, if something happened to your spouse, then that's on me. But yeah, that was the leadership say. You know what I'm saying? And then, hey, when I get back, we book. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Yeah.
new to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you must not know. Like, I would really come get you. So a lot of people didn't know. So that's really how it all conspired. And
Right.
then saying that, be honest, I missed it. I would have stayed. I wanted to go back. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more I wanted to do in the military. There's so many. Uh, I had you to talk to. Come lift weights with. You showed me proper way of lifting weights, what to do and not to do, because I had no idea what I was doing. But we had some real conversations at the same
Yeah.
time. About
Hey,
family, about the life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think the first day I met you, we had some conversation because you was on a detail busting them suds in that tent.
Yeah, yeah, I was. I was in trouble then.
We had some good conversations, man, in that tent, man. Some real
Yeah.
good conversations, man. I appreciate you, my brother.
So yeah, honestly is what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew the background or whatever, you know what I'm saying, boiling with the did he? I know that ain't no secret. There are for y'all that don't know, there are organizations that are in the military. And you need to be mindful of the decisions you make because it would affect you later on in life. Now,
Right,
all you young bucks that are out there that's thinking you thugging it out and everything, man, look, once it's over with, it's over. You
so
know what I'm saying? And you don't want them fast investigations. I'm telling you.
true
And
blue.
so, yeah, so make sure you do what you're supposed to do in the military. You in the military, that's your family, that's your organization you're part of. Man, don't try to be on both sides of the fence. You gotta grow up one day for your kids to suffer the consequences.
Okay. So once out, how hard was it for you to adjust to civilian life?
Man, it was hard because people were lazy. With the military mindset, 10 minutes, uh, they're prior. So if you're on time, you're 10 minutes late.
Right.
So it was kind of hard to get people to moving the way you need them to move for things to happen. And hey, I'm gonna do it on my time. That might be the next week. And you're like, yo, I need this done pronto. So when
Man.
somebody tell you, I got you thinking they got you like immediately after they finish talking. But in the civilian world, It's different.
It's
It's on a
different.
different. And I think in the civilian world, the same as in the military. In the military, just limited. People would try to mess you over to, uh, skip you over. But in the civilian life, it's like a way of life. Everybody trying to get to the next position or whatever. But at least in the military, you have standards that everyone has to uphold to get to that next position. But
Right.
here, it's kind of like a lot of toothpaste and stuff, which it was the world was like that before we went in the military. When I got out, but I would think people would grow up, but they didn't, man. You got it was hard to see my friends being 30 something, 40 something. I got older friends, I was 70. But when your friends are 30 something at the time, was 20 something, and they still trying to rap, you like, man, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being like for real though. Like if you been successful, that's one thing. But like, if you ain't, if you out there and you getting put on the map, that's one thing, shoot videos. But if you still in the basement mindset, like what are you doing with your life? So it really hurt me to see the ones that I grew up with that I was cool with. It's man, that hurt me. So it made it harder for me because now I'm trying to push myself and motivate myself, and I'm looking for the type of motivation that people from the military give, and that's look, get this done right now and be done with it. So it kind of um, that was like real hard for me, man.
So
Like to
you
try to get
so
same
like
level.
in the military, you had something to look at as far as motivation and being inspired or being
Yeah,
an inspiration to either somebody because they see how you move. You watch your leadership. You
yeah,
imitate little things that they do and say, I'm going to add this to what I'm going to do. So, and that's true because the military helps you grow in a big way because you set to some standards. Oh, let me put this out here. My pet peeve, time. Oh my God, time. I like I can deal with some things. Like you could be look like 5 minutes late, but if you give me 25, 30 minutes and you hit me on the line, like, hey, I'll be like 5 minutes late. You in the McDonald's line, I see you on Facebook. It's like we're gonna have a problem. But anyway, man, I'm not I'm not gonna go on that line. But my pet
yeah,
peeve is time, man, because time is
yeah,
precious to everybody. And like I might not say it enough to the people that's been on here. I appreciate everybody for giving up some part of their time to be on this platform. And I appreciate you, Jack, for giving me some of your time, brother. Hey, do you think the military gave you the tools to be motivated, even if things didn't seem successful or favorable on any part?
yeah. I think so. It gives you the constant drive. You look at people who are young becoming like E6s, like 6 years E6s. You got people who are constantly pushing you. So failure became not an option. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones who really, took heed to everything that's going on about life, failure is not an option. And the military really boils that into you because it could be a crazy situation and you don't know how you're gonna get it. But guess what they say? You better figure it out. And you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You and your crew or whatever. So yeah, that was one of the greatest tools I think the military does. And also be respectful, man. Like there's not enough of that in the world.
Right.
Respect, you got to gain respect, or you know what I'm saying, respect is earned and everything like that. But respect for others is a big thing. And one thing also the military uh, put in my heart from deploying is humbleness because I don't care what neighborhood you from in America. You go overseas, I guarantee what you consider the worst poverty is not even close.
No,
It's not even close. The way you see kids living, having to live, it's not even close. And
no
so
wasn't there.
it humbled me to be more appreciative of things I got. Not materialistic, but you know, man, just being able to wake up and wash, being able to wake up and have a bed. You know what I'm saying? The door not open, don't have to sweep out no sand. Like it makes you appreciate it. Be able to have shoes on your feet. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes,
stuff
sir.
you see is crazy, and they the spirit that the people have over there. You be like, man, how can they be so happy
Right.
and in everything in their limited situations? But they are. And then you come back and you realize you have more materialistic, but the spirit part, you know what I'm saying? You kind of, you kind of not where you thought you were. And I don't know for everyone else, but uh, one thing with me in the military was my walk with God. Man, there was plenty of times I didn't believe in God, even though I would encourage others. There was plenty of times I didn't believe in God. Like, I would, especially at the war horse. Like during war horse, I was like, well, how can they, when you think it was us and them situation, you were like, well, we losing. So if we was the right ones, you know what I'm saying, then how are they winning? Like how's God picking this side? You know what I'm saying? So um, that was a lot, but the good friendships in the military and good leadership, especially Chief Bird. Shout out to Chief Bird. Uh, and good people like yourself, man. Cause like, hey, y'all don't know, man. This brother talked a lot, a whole lot. And this brother was, he still is very wise, very wise. I was just a young Thundercat. He was, and he came in the military after me, passed me up in rank. I ain't afraid to say it. But he was very knowledgeable and very wise to share his knowledge with me. And man, I really appreciate that, bro. I think you helped me get through a lot of stuff, just being honest with you.
Man, I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Hey, what advice would you give to somebody transition out of the military?
First thing you need to do is go get everything in your medical records verified.
Ding.
That's the first thing you need to do. Think about what you want to do. Look at jobs that you feel you want to do, and you can start before. Now I hear you can start before you get out to start making adjustments. So take advantage of that, and definitely your medical. You plan on getting out and getting some VA benefits. Now I don't care if you serve 20 years, you can get out and really not get nothing
That's true.
because it's not verified in your medical record. So them last few months, you need to be a sick call ranger, not going to get stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you just need to go for verification. Why? To make sure stuff is in there, and forget what people say about you, because at the end of the day, once you get out, the military gonna continue going on. It's gonna skip. It is not gonna skip a beat at all. But you're gonna have to live on in the things that you think should be warranted, or not. You gotta work even harder once you get out the military to try to get it. And a lot of times we don't even know what's in our medical records. And it really could have started while you was in the service and you had no idea because you're going overseas, you training, you ain't trying to, pride kissing away, I'm young, you know what I'm saying? And then it catches up with
All
you.
right.
So I would advise that anybody get with you another veteran that been through this before. Talk to them, listen to them, especially you younger ones. Look, you don't know it all. Even us older ones don't know it all. But just take heed to the wisdom they trying to share, and then take that and then apply it to your situation. Because we all trying to learn that when an older person decides to sit down with you and share some wisdom, man, be thankful. I'm telling you,
Hey,
be thankful. Yeah.
catch the spirit behind that, people. Catch it, because never be too big or too little to sit down and talk. I don't care what position you are in. Yeah, hey, this applies to everything in life, civilians, military, it don't matter. Be able and willing to accept things from other people. Because, you know, in order to be taught, you have to be reachable, right? Let's be honest, right? Hey, you have to be reachable. So how, and what other way could you obtain some type of knowledge and wisdom? It is a difference. Because a lot of
Yeah.
times we go on our own high horse and get to talking like we know everything, in which we don't. It's always something that the next person knows and it can tell you that can guide your life in a certain direction. Hey, like with this sick call range of stuff, be that. Just like he just said, you're gonna come across. Now, I'm not saying everybody. Everybody's situation is different, but it's a lot of. I'm gonna say I've run across better, and even myself, I had problems because of I didn't put things in my medical records, which I should have put in there because it shows up later on in life. And these problems are big. First and foremost, I will always talk about education. Get that taken care of before you leave the military. I said it on my last, I'm gonna say it on every video. Take care of all of that. Medical records. Get started on your VA process because I started 3 months before I got out. And it was like, hey, many people don't come in here starting stuff before that. I say, hey, I know I was getting out. So hey, let's get this ball rolling. I was in there. I was drinking. They say drink water, soldier, and drive on. I was drinking that water straight to sea call. Not that, but like, hey, at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself because it's a lot of things that's caused, and a lot of people don't understand why can't this person just get by and just do what normal people do? Well, in a sense, for the deployments that you do and for the things that you've been through on that deployment, you wasn't living normal. That 14 months that we did that first deployment, we wasn't living normal. Everything was fast paced. We was going. Things were happening. And it's these things that's happening weren't safe. In the back of our head, we had the thought of we need to make it back safe. It's the mission. Is my brother next to me okay? Like that brother being man or woman. Don't we aren't gonna get on here talking that. Oh, what about the women? Women too. Women too.
Yeah.
We all were like we had a sense that our thought process was different. When we get back here, things shift. Like we a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are like, man, so this is civilian living. How am I supposed to gear my conversation towards what they're talking about? Because if I say something, they're going to see me as a weird individual.
Yep.
And even while you're in the military, you're going to see veterans different because you're not in their shoes yet. Please believe me, those conversations will come up once you get out. But hey, Jack, Black Jack, Action Jack, man of many hats. Hey, check me out, bro. I need some. Could you give us an uplifting word before you bust on out of here on some any old thing you would like to say?
Yeah, you know what? Something positive for everyone, man. Listen, be colorblind. Be colorblind. And what I mean is, don't look at people for their color, but look them for their heart, man. Be colorblind. Um, because we allow that hate in our own country. You can serve with someone, go overseas, be buddies, and come back in a world of divide y'all, man. So be colorblind. You know who that person was whenever y'all was deployed, when y'all was in the military, and this is for anybody else that's out working. You know who your people are that you're working with. So judge them for their heart, and man, that you won't be judged. So be colorblind.
Man, I'm
Take a
ready.
person for who they show you they are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ooh, you got me beating my chest over here. That's facts from the blackjack. You hear me? He said, "Be color." That's big, bro. Be colorblind. We always had I'm not even gonna get off on that, man, because my inspiration or whatnot is gonna kick in a minute, and it's gonna be a whole nother 30, 40 minutes of, with Don, please shut up. Man, hey, once again, bro, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man, for who you are, what you do. I appreciate you for being a man of your family. I appreciate you for serving, my brother. Like being like in the giving up a part of yourself because you did that. You was a part of history. A lot of vets don't understand that. You served during war, bro. You was a part of history. Even though it might not be written in no book, nowhere, but other than your DD 214, you were a part of history. And I see you in the dirt. You know, I
Yeah.
see that background that you got as your picture. I seen you on top of that
Yeah.
joker rolling out the gate.
And
You
that's
hear me?
Warhorse right there.
Right there. Right. I appreciate you. Hey,
Man,
hey,
I
hey,
appreciate you.
tell your wife I appreciate her for being a strong woman she is, for standing behind you while you serve. You hear me?
I will.
I
I
appreciate
will.
the spouses, man. Y'all hear me? I appreciate all y'all, man or woman. Appreciate y'all. But hey, who's up next for formation, man? Hey, I'm looking for some people. Army, Navy, Marine, it don't matter. Any type of fire. I talk to a firefighter, you know, paramedic, nurse. Come on, let's talk to me. Vets,
Yeah.
let's talk. Let's talk to the people.